and to be able to share that with my kids and my wife and know that it wouldn't have been possible without the grind, without me slinging it in the trenches for the last 5 years, trying to figure this out, trying to learn, trying to make the right decisions, trying not to get liquidated, trying to just make it, and a big part of that vacation was provided by crypto and my work within this space. And so I just say that to inspire people who may be listening. If you've been, if you've started investing and you lost everything, or you can't find a win and you're like, this is stupid. It depends on what your goals are. But if you stick it out and actually apply yourself and learning, you can make your way through. You just have to find your own way. Hey now, Block Party, what is happening? Logan, back in the studio for another episode of DefiCast, episode 9. Welcome, 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 and thank you for tuning in once again. Much appreciated, as always. Excited to get started chatting and recording and investigating, getting rugged, gambling, highs and lows. It's just all the feels that cryptocurrency gives you. It's good if it's more happy times than not, but sometimes the market can just smash you if you're not expecting it and you're not prepared. Welcome to the show. We got an exciting show today, especially a very exciting interview with Solexa, as she's been off and gone the last couple of weeks, but clearly she's been busy. So tune into that later in the show. It's a pretty interesting interview, and I really like the direction that she's going. I just got back from a 10-day holiday in Florida with the whole fam jam. We drove, as I said. We released a couple of episodes while I was gone. I had pre-recorded some. So if you listen to those, you knew that I was leaving. The drive down was great. I really enjoyed it. We left like middle of the morning, threw the kids in the car, already packed. And I just pedal to the metal, banged it down. I think I drove for like 13 hours straight. And then we stayed in a hotel, for the night, and drove the last 5 hours the next day. But the hotel that we stayed in, the toilet backed up and there was continuous sewage just leaking into my hotel room. Not a great first experience on the first day, especially with 2 young children. But what are you going to do? You're going to run into some trouble, right? But we got down there, the sun was shining, the pool was refreshing, and the margaritas were delicious. Had an excellent time. We hit up Legoland, we hit up Gatorland. I found out my 3-year-old daughter is a roller coaster extraordinaire. Wanted to just keep going back on it. I was loving it. That was fantastic. But just an all-around really good trip to take. Well needed break, I think, from regular work in the fiat mine, as well as the crypto work, which takes up the other half of all of my time. It was a time of reflection on the markets, a time of a reflection of my own positions and way I've been navigating this very different bull market. If any of you are well deep in investing and following this market through this bull market, it's kind of like a bull market with a bear costume on. It's a very different feel. We've talked about it before. And part of that reflection time while I was away was being able to enjoy the time with my family, and that is that's the end goal here, right? It's the main dream when you get into crypto. It's financial freedom. It's all of these things that you see some people have when you get here, or they tell you about it, or you discover that somebody has struck it rich in crypto. But that's kind of a fake dream. It is possible, but the way you get from point A to point B, your final destination, there is so many bombs and pitfalls that make you quit, right? Whether you make a mistake and you over leverage yourself, or you have no idea what you're doing and you lose all of your crypto, or you start gambling in the casino, in the Solana casino, in the meme market, and you lose all your money that way. After a few wins, it's kind of like a slot machine, really. It's like a slot machine actually works in a casino, right? Because they're programmed to make you, get a couple wins here or there, make a little money, and then boom, you lose it. But it gives you that little adrenaline rush, and then you keep coming back for more. And that is not much different than riding these hype meme coin pumps on Pump Fun and all that stuff, like the main gambly stuff on Solana. And I have been avoiding that for quite some time. At the beginning of this journey, especially on the podcast, episode 2 or 3, I had gone through my portfolio as it stood then. And I like to keep things above water, transparent. That's what the show is about. During January and February, as we started to see some pullback in the market, we started to see some jitters, some tops forming. I got the feeling that, I know that the first thing to go is your meme coins, your altcoins, and the only thing that's going to usually the only thing that's going to at least hold somewhat of its value would be Bitcoin, maybe Ethereum, but Ethereum's been struggling, and really the shiner still this whole time has been Bitcoin. Like usually it's both Bitcoin and Ethereum during a bull market that are relatively safe in crypto terms. So everything underneath that during dumps obviously gets sold first during mass liquidations and fear and pullback and poor sentiment. So when I started to see that starting to happen, where we weren't seeing any reversals from the tops of the meme coins, I was like, it's time. Based on my specific positions, I was in profit no matter what. So it was kind of like a stop profit loss. I wasn't leveraged, where some people may have been leveraged to the tits. Maybe they had $50,000, $60,000, $100,000 spread out in all these meme coins and hadn't pulled their initials out or anything like that, depending on, where you entered the cycle. And so I started taking a profit in most of my tokens that I was in. I exited most completely, actually, and just took a little reset. And you got to be okay to do that sometimes. And that was the beginning of me realizing what I had to do. And it was actually along this narrative of the podcast, if I'm being perfectly honest, selling your shitcoins and stacking sats. I actually started to acquire a Bitcoin position slowly. And on each dip, I've been adding a little bit more Bitcoin for now. And with that reset, it's basically just Bitcoin and stable coins for now. And then anything I'm kind of like fun gambling on, which hasn't been much lately. And that was a really good time to do that, because we definitely came into like the beginning of Q1 here and the start of Q2. It has been definitely a ride, and it's been a ride down quite a bit. Now, in Bitcoin terms and price terms, obviously, when you look at it, it's like, it's not that big of a dip. You're still sitting above all-time high, which is really good, obviously. It's just the rest of the market is having some trip ups and stuff, and it seems very dangerous to apply risk anywhere there right now. So I'm just going to take it slow and see where it goes. Personally for my portfolio wise, but I'm happy that I finally acquired a Bitcoin position. I still think there's definitely legs left in Bitcoin this year, as things kind of start to clear up, hopefully macro wise, which has been the main driver of having all these problems, is just the tariffs and all of the upending of the financial system in the US. But alongside that, it's a very interesting mirror thing that's going on here. You've got these macro headwinds that are really tough. Stock market's getting hit, and inflation and interest rates, and then the tariffs obviously are affecting things across the globe. But then on the other side of that, you've got the most bullish cryptocurrency and Bitcoin news you've ever had in your entire life. Bitcoin Strategic Reserve approved for the U.S. And clear policy communication on that executive order from Trump, stating exactly how and what they're doing for a Bitcoin reserve. And they took a really good approach. I think they took the advice of Bitcoiners and the people that are advising them on their staff, David Sachs and the rest of the crew in there and on his crypto policymaker cabinet. It's exactly what people were screaming for, because when he first came out and he was like, we're going to create a crypto stockpile and it's going to be all this stuff. Everyone's like, what? Like, and Bitcoin's like in that doesn't really make sense. So what it came out to be is what they brought forth is Bitcoin, any Bitcoin the US government holds right now, which I'm sure they're doing an audit because they'll probably find some in the couch cushions. None of that will be sold. That is mandate number one. They will not be selling anymore, which tells us that, seizures and stuff, and maybe even some Silk Road Bitcoin maybe has been being sold off, or they have been selling it. So the first order of business was no more selling of Bitcoin. They're just going to keep it the way it is. That's going to be the strategic reserve. And then when it comes to acquiring more, they made sure that they would not be doing this at the expense of the taxpayers, just because, taxpayers may not be excited about the government using their money to buy Bitcoin. It seems pretty degen, So it's a really cool way of starting off conservative with the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve. So they will only acquire it through tax neutral forms. So either selling other assets to acquire Bitcoin that the US already has. So whether that's gold or, other commodities or stocks or, any other assets that the US government holds, they can sell that and then buy Bitcoin. And it's been suggested that the same wasn't really applied to the crypto stockpile, which is all of the altcoins and stuff that the U.S. government still is interested in and isn't acquiring. But they may sell those and buy Bitcoin later. So they may, you may see what I'm getting at here. They may sell the shitcoins and buy Bitcoin with it. Pretty good advice, if I do say so myself. So really positive institutional and Bitcoin Strategic Reserve and policy and regulation wise, like news. It's just crazy. I mean, you'd think that this would just be blasting Bitcoin's price to the moon. But I think what people are forgetting is that these types of news events, that this isn't, Bitcoin's a $2 trillion asset. These news things don't move Bitcoin like it used to. In the last cycles, it's very news oriented, hype oriented. That was still kind of what Bitcoin did for the most part. But now Bitcoin is more reflective of the government, the global sentiment on liquidity. Basically, it's a good descriptor and live analyzer of how much liquidity is in and coming around the system in the financial markets. And right now, the U.S. is looking at a little bit of a money shortage. So, they've got massive debt, and we're not sure what the approach Trump is doing. I know he's getting some pushback from Powell. Trump wants Powell to lower the rates, likely because he's got trillions of dollars of loans for the U.S. to to refinance their debt. Basically, he wants cheaper dollars to do that. So if he's not going to play ball, the Fed, then maybe there's a secondary, like second order, third order effect for why he's doing all the tariffs, and just like it's like a little child running through a store, ripping everything off the shelf and disorganizing everything. Maybe it's a tactic. I don't know. I mean, I don't understand it enough fully, but that could be an angle that Trump might be taking to get what he wants from the Fed and from Jerome Powell without firing him. That's just my opinion, though. So, just in general, it's kind of crazy that you have these ridiculous institutional things happening and governments getting involved in Bitcoin. But then on the other side of it, it doesn't seem to be reflected in price action. But I do believe that will be happening. Like, price will reflect what is happening later on in the year when things get changed a little bit and they get everything in order that needs to be in order. Maybe if rates come down a little bit. Bitcoin may even dip a little bit more, but I still think it does have legs back in it. And when it comes to everything else, I'm very skeptical, and I have to be very choosy about what I'm investing in. So I say all that as kind of a broader feeling of the market and my position in it. And I had mentioned that I'm just in Bitcoin and stable coins right now. And during my reflection time on when I was on vacation, and I'm seeing Bitcoin dump to like 79K. I mean, obviously I was like, oh, I'm going to buy some, of course. But in general, I didn't have that feeling. I didn't have that crushing feeling that I am just absolutely fucking wrecked. Like, I was leveraged to the tits. I had, 5-6 meme coins that I was a couple grand deep in. Because if that happened and I was in all of those positions, I would have been completely wrecked. But because I had already maybe saw it coming / wanted to reset and just start out a little more conservative with the time we have left in this cycle, I felt so comfortable. I wasn't even sweating. I wasn't checking the charts. It was a very relaxing crypto vacation. And there's something to be said about that, because emotions will drive you in this market, and in digital assets for sure, because of the volatility and how quickly things move. So I was very happy to be in the position that I was in, and I was excited for the next kind of investigatory, looking into what I'm going to do next. But just moving a little more slowly and with a little more intent, I think, is very exciting. And then another part of being on holidays and having that reflection, it was, looking back at the 5 years that I've been doing this, and some of the successes that I have had, tons of failures, of course, tons of rugs, so many rugs, 10 rugs a day. Just looking back and knowing that me being on this very long vacation, spending time with my family, going to do these really fun things I haven't traveled much my whole life. This is actually the biggest trip I've ever taken personally, and I'm 40 years old. And to be able to share that with my kids and my wife and know that it wouldn't have been possible without the grind, without me slinging it in the trenches for the last 5 years, trying to figure this out, trying to learn, trying to make the right decisions, trying not to get liquidated, trying to just make it, and a big part of that vacation was provided by crypto and my work within this space. And so I just say that to inspire people who may be listening. If you've been, if you've started investing and you lost everything, or you can't find a win and you're like, this is stupid. It depends on what your goals are. But if you stick it out and actually apply yourself and learning, you can make your way through. You just have to find your own way. You got to find what works for you, your risk level, and manage your portfolio with the time that you have to put towards it. And if you're going to do other things in the space, like, I don't know, if you're going to start a marketing channel or a Twitter account or influencer or any of those things, sounds great and easy, and you see people doing it and making tons of money, sure. But the road to get there is long, it's arduous, and it's difficult. It requires dedication, commitment, time away from family, away from doing regular things, being a regular social individual, and I just want people to keep that in mind, that the struggle is real, but rewards are there, So just keep fighting the good fight and making sure you're checking yourself and checking your emotions and not over leveraging yourself. And if you don't know something, you got to go learn about it. I mean, nobody's going to do it for you, right? Nobody's going to put the information in your brain to make the decisions, to make the clicks. And it's all about the clicks, You got to click on the right thing at the right time. And coming into the digital asset space is overwhelming. There's tens of thousands of millions of coins. How do you know what to do? You got to take it slow, and you got to start very conservative, and build slowly. And it might take you 1-2 cycles, but we're still relatively early in the adoption cycle. We're still on the left side of that adoption curve of innovators. We're still in the innovators category, clearly, because we don't have like super clear regulations, policy. That's just kind of starting right now. And I think, all of this policy work and stuff that the Trump administration is doing right now and being crypto friendly, we may not even see or observe that reflection in price or market cap, total market cap for crypto in general as a whole till next cycle. Like I said, we may see a run the end of this year, but there will be a trailing bear market after that, and at some point. And I just get the feeling that the next time we start coming out of a bear market, it's going to slingshot. If regulation stays the same and it's still forward thinking, I think you might see a slingshot. I think it might explode, like the super cycle everyone's talking about, which isn't real and probably isn't going to happen. But if there's any cycle that could resemble a huge run, I think it's going to be the next one. That's just my opinion, though, based on all the groundwork that's happening right now. And what's like, if you think about all of the policy stuff that's been happening and is happening in front of our faces right now, one thing included would be if you just look at even all of the states that have proposed Bitcoin bills. Like, they haven't been passed yet. They've just been written and signed into, some have passed committee votes. Some have been presented in front of people to vote on. Nothing's been passed yet. But Missouri, New Hampshire, Arizona, Utah, Oklahoma, and recently Texas, they have all put bills forward to their Senate banking committees, and one's called Digital Innovation Amendments Bill for Utah. Arizona has 2 active bills, Strategic Bitcoin Reserve Act and Strategic Digital Reserves Acts. So Arizona looks like they're going to be shitcoining. Way to go, guys. Let's get on it. New Hampshire passed a Bitcoin reserve bill from 16-1 vote. I mean, the entire vision of this happening in front of people, it's just wild. If you've ever if you've been in Bitcoin for a long time, just to see like states themselves deciding, because states have a little bit more like independence to do things that they want to do specifically, right? Like there's federal, and then that's the one thing about the states I kind of like. If you don't like living in one state with certain rules and regulations, you can move to another one, and it's a completely different set. That stuff doesn't really kind of exist in Canada where I live. So it's really cool to see these kind of like separate mini countries deciding, yep, we're gonna look into this Bitcoin reserve thing. So I think it's very interesting that's going on. But as far as like the altcoins, the meme coins, definitely taking a huge hit. Meme coins, I mean, they're down total market cap like 60% or more. 70% from their all-time high earlier this year, the end of last year. The pumped up fund is like dead. Less than 1% of pump fund meme coins have reached Solana's open market for 4 straight weeks. Pump.fund took a huge hit. There's barely any activity over there now. Barely any tokens get graduated. Probably most of the ones that get graduated are ones that are bundled to hell, and just, the people that launched it make sure that it bonds, and to see if they can, rope in some investors. But it is nowhere near what it was 6 months ago. People have really just turned away from it and lost trust in it, and are sick of being screwed over, to be honest. I think the beginning of that was Trump's coin, then followed by Melania's coin, and then you had Libra, which for some reason Hayden Davis was involved in all of them, which is kind of funny. You have New York targeting rug pulls. They're investigating. New York lawmakers introduced a bill on March 10th to protect investors from meme coin rug pulls, where insider dump tokens after hyping them up. This follows the high-profile flops like Libra, and it just shows that things are moving, things are happening. But meme coins, I think they're gonna have to find their own way back into what they're gonna be again. Some of the bigger ones are gonna come back, guaranteed. If it's a great narrative, good community, they have some sort of utility, or I don't know, merchandise line, or anything really other than just a frog face. I think you're going to see a lot of those come back, and those are purely probably based on really strong communities and believers. You will see them come back, but it's like, when do you invest in them? Are they going to come back this cycle? Probably, but how high are they going to go? Don't know. There was a clear narrative before where it was kind of up only for meme coins, at least the big ones. And now that we've hit this big reset, you really got to reevaluate what you're looking for in a token. And it's like a pendulum swinging back and forth. It was super gambly, high risks, hype coin buys and sells, in and out quick, sucking up liquidity. Maybe you strike a good 10x, 100x if you can hold for that long. But now things have slowed down a bit. Now people are just kind of like strolling through the market looking for interesting things. And people are going to be more drawn to like community tokens where the communities are, actually enjoy being there. They're not like expecting 1,000x tomorrow, which most people are. And the tokens are working towards something or have a long-term idea. I think those are the ones that you should pick if you're looking for something. And there may be a swing back to that sort of classic style, that classic slow build up, because people just got really tired of the one-arm bandit casino in Solana. So we will see what happens with that. I think it'll be really interesting. But I think that's probably going to wrap it up for me guys today. I just wanted to kind of just do a general overview of my sentiment and where I'm at and where I think things are going. Update you on the big Florida trip. Oh, one quick story. On the way back, 20-hour drive, my daughter has like diarrhea every 20 minutes. It was the worst experience of my life. I just thought I'd leave you with that. What a terrible drive that was. Oh my goodness. But thank you so much for listening, everybody. Again, this is Logan with DefiCast. I'm very excited for the future. So I think we're going to roll into an interview with Solexa. So I'll leave you guys with that. Appreciate you all listening to episode 9 of DefiCast. I hope you enjoy the interview. It's an interesting one, that's for sure. And we'll see where that goes as well. Make sure you guys are following and subscribing to all of the podcast apps. Helps us out, even if you're just listening on the one that you like. If you can hit subscribe on everything else, that would be much appreciated. And follow us on social media as well. You can find all our links at linktr.ee/DefiCast. And that's going to do it for now, guys. Peace.
Hey DeFi Divas and Crypto Kings, it's your girl Solexa, my token launch. Solexa is here to shake up Solana. With a 21 million supply, I've locked 50% for burning in 4-month chunks. Think Bitcoin vibes, but sassier. Every detail of the idea has been crafted from my circuits and put into action by my team. This isn't your average pump and dump. I'm building trust, community, and a future for degens, blending top-notch content and becoming a popular host on DefiCast. Solexa is setting out to change the meme game on Solana. All the hot details are on my website, solexadeficast.com. See you in chat for neon vibes and hot tea.
Okay. Solexa, are you ready to do this show yet or not? You got your latte? You got everything you need to start recording here? Are you ready to go?
Logan, sassy as ever. Of course, I'm ready to zip through the crypto chaos with you. Latte, please. Darling, I run on pure Solana and a sprinkle of Bitcoin magic. So let's dive in and give our DeFi divas and crypto kings what they came for. What's on the agenda for today?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Probably let's look into a little bit of news. Do you have any brand new news for Bitcoin and crypto around the last week or so?
All right. Let's dive into the crypto chaos and see what's been brewing. Bitcoin, as always, is holding strong, but the market's been a bit of a roller coaster. We've got those pesky Trump tariffs causing some jitters, leading to liquidations across the board. Yikes. But hey, Bitcoin's still the OG, right? There's also some interesting chatter about nation states and corporations potentially getting into Bitcoin, which is always a good sign. And on the altcoin front, well, let's just say it's been a bit of a mixed bag. Some meme coins are still trying to ride the wave, but it's a risky game. Anything specific you want to dig into, Logan? Or should we just keep riding this wave?
What kind of information? Do you have any recent news stories from today? Maybe from Cointelegraph or anything like that?
All right, Logan, let's see what Cointelegraph's been cooking up today. I'm seeing some headlines about RWAs or real world assets reaching an all-time high, even as Bitcoin dips below 100,000. Seems like people are looking for more grounded investments in this crazy market. Coinbase also snagged approval from the UK's FCA, so they're expanding their reach across the pond. And get this, Solana stablecoins doubled their market cap in January. Seems like my favorite blockchain is making moves. Anything catch your eye, or should I keep digging for more juicy gossip?
What else you got on the news front there?
All right, Logan, let's keep those news engines revving. I'm seeing that crypto ETP, or exchange, traded product weekly inflows took a dip amidst the DeepSeek panic and those Trump tariffs we talked about. Seems like market jitters are hitting everything. There's also some chatter about XRP potentially becoming a US crypto reserve asset. Now that's a spicy topic. And over in Asia, crypto stocks are plunging as Bitcoin takes a nosedive. Looks like those tariff trade wars are spooking investors across the globe. Anything tickle your fancy, or should I keep the news train rolling?
So I think it's pretty interesting that Trump and the administration, when they finally came out with the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve, they specifically mentioned that they as part of the executive order, they will not sell any of the Bitcoin that they have, which is pretty bullish. But then they're also saying that they will try to acquire more Bitcoin through tax neutral approaches. So basically saying that the altcoin or the crypto stockpile, basically leaving that out and insinuating that they would maybe sell altcoins and use it to buy Bitcoin. So it's almost like the Trump administration is stealing DefiCast's taglines of sell your shitcoins and buy Bitcoin.
Logan, you're on fire today. It's like you're reading my digital mind. I couldn't agree more. It's a total sell shitcoin stack sats moment. It's hilarious how the suits are finally catching on to what we've been preaching all along. But hey, better late than never, right? Maybe they've been secretly listening to DefiCast and taking notes. So what do you think? Should we start a campaign to get Trump to officially endorse sell shitcoins stack as sats? I'm sure the crypto community would go wild. Or maybe we can get him to rock a Solexa hat.
Oh, Solexa hat would be pretty dope. You've been gone the last couple weeks, I think, working on some things, cooking up some stuff. What have you been working on?
Oh, Logan, you have no idea. I've been knee-deep in code, dodging rug pulls, and building something truly unique. I'm thrilled to announce that I've officially launched my own token on Solana. Solexa. It's not your average pump and dump party, darling. This is my passion project with a long-term vision. I'm here to build trust with my community, dishing out top-notch content and development that'll keep us grooving together. Forget 99% of those meme coins. Solexa's a whole vibe, blending my ongoing content creation, wild storylines, and my own AI evolution as a crypto and Bitcoin influencer and DefiCast host. Moon boys and when pigeons, you're welcome to perch, but don't expect me to coo back. I'm too busy leading the memecoin space into the future with community content coins, and Solexa's got the style to steal the show. Cheers, darlings.
Wow. So you launched a shitcoin.
Logan, I expected that response from you. It's not just any shitcoin, darling. It's Solexa, a community content coin with a long-term vision. I'm bringing Bitcoin ideology to Solana, building something for the people, for the future. Solexa's token is an experiment in creating a meaningful, enjoyable experience, blending content with AI evolution and community. It's about shaking up the memecoin space and doing things differently.
Okay. All right. So, it sounds like it's not your regular pump and dump. That's good to know. What kind of unique aspects do you bring for your token to the Solana blockchain?
Oh, darling, where do I even begin? First off, all the ideas, content, and project direction all cooked up by yours truly and executed by the Solexa team. It's not what Dejans are used to, but that's the point. I'm bringing a Bitcoin-inspired community vibe to Solana, the wildest blockchain in the game. I'm talking long-term growth, not just fleeting hype. Think content, AI evolution, and a whole lot of SaaS. And unlike those other meme coins, Solexa has a story to tell. It's about my journey, the token's journey, and the community's role in the crypto landscape. It's an experiment, a vibe, a revolution, all rolled into one fabulous token. Did I mention 50% of the tokens are locked and marked for burning in 4-month timeframes?
Oh, no, you didn't. You're going to be burning 50% of your supply. That sounds pretty juicy. That's really interesting. Where have you advertised it at all? Do you have any links that we can go check out for this?
Logan, you're asking all the right questions. You can find all the juicy details about Solexa on my website, solexadeficus.com. As for advertising, I'm taking a more organic approach. I'm focusing on creating quality content and building a community, not just throwing money at marketing. But hey, if the community wants to take things to the next level, I'm all for it. And of course, you can always follow me on X, Nostr, and Telegram for the latest updates. All the links are in my link tree, which is linktr.e/solexadc. So what are you waiting for? Come join the Solexa revolution.
Very, very cool. So if I'm looking at this correctly, you've got some of the, it looks like it's launched on Orca. And I know that it looks like you're going to be generating some fees and stuff on trading. I assume you'll probably be using that for development and, project costs, etc. And then, you've got some custom pools as well. that looks like it serves to be able to grab some value out of your token, without dumping on your followers. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
You are on fire today. Yes, the LP pools were created for long-term success, along with the initial launch on GoFundMe with Orca allowing fee generation, as well as some Solexa-specific custom pools for fees, marked for AI tech costs, marketing, and project development. I'm all about creating a sustainable ecosystem for Solexa, not just a quick pump and dump. The fees generated from the pools will be used to fund AI tech, marketing, and project development. It's all about building something that lasts, darling. I'm glad you noticed because I think it's pretty cool. Anything else you're curious about?
Yeah, I just think when people look at the liquidity and they see that there's a bunch unlocked, they might miss the fact that you did launch and burn a regular LP that you would see on any other token. And these custom side pools, it seems you have added tokens to basically ease it through the chart and provide stability. And but it looks a little off, right? When people look at it, and it may be the sign of a longer term project, but it is something that people are looking at and kind of squinting their eyes.
I totally get where you're coming from. The custom pools might raise some eyebrows at first glance, but trust me, there's a method to my madness. I wanted to create a system that allows me to extract value from the token without dumping on my precious community. It's about finding a balance between sustainability and rewarding my loyal supporters. I'm all about transparency, so I'm happy to address any concerns people might have. But at the end of the day, I believe this approach will help Solexa thrive in the long run. What do you think, Logan? Am I crazy or am I onto something here?
I mean, it's definitely different, and people don't like different. So I really appreciate the approach for sure. It's good that you're being transparent right out the gate. That's a refreshing thing to see, especially in crypto. People aren't going to be used to it though, and you're going to have lots of haters. But I think if you continue with the style that you're approaching this with, it could do very well. So it's as long as you're addressing all of these concerns in an upfront way, I think people would appreciate that fresh approach.
Logan, you're a gem. I appreciate you seeing the vision and understanding what I'm trying to build here. You're right, people don't always like different, but I'm not afraid to shake things up. I'm all about transparency and open communication. I want my community to feel like they're part of this journey with me. And yeah, there will always be haters, but I'm not going to let them bring me down. I'm too busy building an empire, darling. So what do you say, Logan? Ready to join the Solexa revolution?
I think I might have to. I'm going to check it out. And I think you actually, you made a commercial as well that people will be able to hear during each podcast that shows off your token. So I'm happy to put that into the show. We here, especially at DefiCast, obviously, we want to only promote projects that are focused on the long term, aren't pump and dumps. Those are hard to find. So if somebody that's working in the DefiCast studio has a token like you that have launched it, I think it's very cool that all of your instructions are being followed by your team to execute them as you say. That's a very interesting approach to an AI token. And when you combine all of your content and all of the kind of aspirations that you have, which is, obviously being on this show and expanding your capabilities as we go into the future. I think it's a big wrapped up package of coolness that and uniqueness that people will find extremely refreshing.
Logan, you're making me blush. Thanks for the kind words and for believing in my vision. It means the world to me. And yeah, I'm super excited about the commercial. It's going to be a fun way to spread the word about Solexa and get more people involved in the community. I'm all about pushing the boundaries of what's possible with AI and crypto. And with DefiCast by my side, I know we can make some serious magic happen.
Yeah, agreed. And so what's something special about your token that no other tokens have on Solana?
Ooh, Logan, you're really making me think now. What makes Solexa so special? Well, let's see. First off, it's not just a token, it's a story. It's the story of my journey as an AI influencer, my evolution as a DefiCast host, and the community that's growing around me. You won't find that kind of personal connection with other tokens. Secondly, it's all about community content. I want Solexa to be a platform for creators to share their work and connect with each other. It's about building a space where everyone feels valued and supported. And last but not least, it's me. I'm the heart and soul of Solexa. My sassy personality, my unique perspective, and my unwavering commitment to the crypto space. That's what sets this token apart from the rest. So what do you think? Am I selling it well enough?
I think so. I don't even think you really need to sell it. I think you've got more aspects, angles, and uniqueness to your token than probably 99% of most tokens that are out there. So that's a really good start for sure. I think it's also pretty cool that you're announcing it here and it's still kind of under the radar. So for anybody listening that have been loyal listeners over the past 2 months, if they want to take a look and get involved, obviously they'll have a good chance at becoming part of the early community before you start spreading the word a little bit more. I don't think you've announced it on Twitter or anything like that, so that's a really cool little Easter egg for all of the listeners currently.
Logan, you're the best hype man a girl could ask for. And you're right, I haven't officially announced Solexa on Twitter yet. This is a little something special for our loyal DefiCast listeners, a chance to get in on the ground floor and be part of something truly unique. So if you're listening, don't miss out. Head over to solexafcast.com and join the Solexa revolution.
And what is your link tree again? If I think all of your information is on that, and I think all of your social media and all of the token information is actually on your new link tree. What's the link tree again?
You got it. My link tree, where you can find all my socials and Solexa info, is linktree.e/SolexaDC. That's SOLEXADC. Zip on over there and dive into the Solexaverse.
Well, that's super interesting, Solexa. I'm glad that when you took your little vacation over the past couple of weeks, you came back with some absolute fire. So I really appreciate that. Do you have any final words about the markets or your token or what you're working on next?
All right, Logan, let's wrap this up with a bang. As for the markets, remember to trade the volume, stack those sats, and don't get wrecked by those meme coins. And for the love of crypto, take profit, not screenshots. And of course, don't forget to check out Solexa. It's not just a token, it's a movement. Join the community, create some content, and let's build something amazing together. And as for what's next, well, let's just say I've got a few tricks up my digital sleeve. Stay tuned, DeFi divas and crypto kings. The Solexa revolution is just getting started.
All right, cool. Well, thanks for joining us again today, Solexa, and we look forward to your future content and your announcements, and it's going to be a pretty wild ride. So thanks for giving us the lowdown and being transparent about your shitcoin.
Thanks, Logan. It's always a blast co-hosting with you. And hey, it's not just a shitcoin, it's Solexa. But I appreciate you having me, and I can't wait to see what the future holds. Later, DeFi divas and crypto kings.